Greetings and welcome inside the Jason Smith Show with Mike Harmon. I normally say happy Monday, happy Tuesday, happy Wednesday, but I ain't going to lie to you. The last few days and what continues to develop in our country now, I don't know. I can keep saying I'm shocked, I'm surprised, but then the more things happen, can you really say you're shocked and surprised? It really, really is an insane time right now. And, you know, going through the last couple of days, and we'll get to a big story involving the Knicks. Oh, boy. Yeah. Coming up in a couple of seconds coming off this. But the death of George Floyd and the protests that have been rampant across the country the last couple of days. I'm going to tell you what we can do and what the best thing you can do to get involved, to do things, because this is something that, look, our country is in flames right now. Okay. And, you know, here in Los Angeles, this is the third night that we're under curfew. And the alert comes on my phone, the 6 o'clock curfew. And then the alert comes, it's a 5 o'clock curfew. And then the alert comes, curfew now, 4 o'clock curfew, 3 nights in a row. I drove out today to go get lunch. I went to Burger King. And I go by, and it's to see Ross and Target boarded up because they don't want anybody to come and loot their businesses. These are dark and strange times indeed. And it is hard to talk about baseball negotiations and NBA resuming the season, but that is our business, and that is what we're going to do on the show tonight. But we're also going to talk about this because when you turn on your TV and no matter where you go, it is protest and it's violence and it's police firing bullets at protesters and it's looters who are stealing cheesecakes from Cheesecake Factory. Seeing the Grove ransacked over the course of this weekend, a mall I go to probably 5 or 6 times a year. And my favorite deli that I like to go get sandwiches from was ransacked today. Justin Frostberg, our producer, had to leave where he lives in Los Angeles because they were worried about the rioting. People are shooting the media. I mean, you're seeing the media saying, "Hey, look, I got hit with this rubber bullet. Stop shooting people. Let's stop shooting people." Can we just have that the first thing? Can we stop shooting people? That's the number one thing. But I want to talk about 2 things because there's 2 solutions for this, because what we're hearing the last few days is about how we shouldn't stand for this, and we shouldn't. This is the United States of America. I can't believe this is us. And there are 2 things that I can tell you 100% what to do. If we are fed up and we want to do stuff going forward, there are 2 things to do. Number 1 is vote, and number 2 is get involved. And when I say vote, I mean vote locally. Vote in your local elections. That's where most of the government is. Make sure you vote for governor. Make sure you vote for sheriff. Make sure you vote for district attorney. Make sure you vote for school board. Get out and vote and know who is making the decisions for your community. All right? That's what they always tell you in the government, right? When you think your district, your county, your city, your state, and you move up from there. So if you don't like what's happening, and look, can any of us say we do? Make sure you vote. Make sure you know everything about the people that are running for different positions, different officials. Make sure you go and vote. And if you don't like the way things are going, vote that and change it. Go out and vote. The other thing is get involved. Get involved, whether it is going out and getting involved in politics yourself, getting involved in a good cause that is trying to help, a watchdog company, a group of people that are trying to help and bring food to people, whatever it is that you can do to make a difference, that you want to get involved at because you want everything to get better because we're all in this together. Those are the 2 biggest things we can go do. All right. It's great to say to break your silence, right? That's been the big thing the last couple of days has been, don't be silent. And of course, you say, listen, I don't like it, but sometimes we got to go past words. And those are the 2 things I can tell you from my near 50 years on this planet. The 2 things that work are, hey, you want to see how things are going, you vote, or you get involved and you do something in your community. You do something to help your neighbors, help the people who the city you live in. Those are the two biggest things to do. And if you can do one of those things, you are helping solve the issues and moving things forward. Because where we're at right now, it's just, we're so divided that the only way we get through this is we get through it together. And no matter what, we're all in this. No matter what, there may be people you don't like. They may not like you for whatever reason. You are, politically or personally, whatever it is. But when we are fighting things like when we have racism being as high as it is right now, we have to come together. We're all in this. We're all in this big ball for however many years we have. And if we don't do it together, it's simply not going to get done. And we have to put aside differences and say, okay, what's going to make us better as a society, as a people, and this is how we go forward. But those are the two biggest things I can tell you right there. Get involved locally. Vote. Get involved. Those are the things to do. Steve DeSager, not exactly how I think you envisioned the beginning of the show.
But that's life, man.
But this is what it's been the last few days. Every time you turn the TV on or you see something, you shake your head and go, oh my goodness, I just want to wake up from this.
Somebody asked me, is this going to continue on Monday? And I said, well, we don't have normal Mondays with school and work, so why wouldn't it continue Monday? Even setting the anger aside. And when you said, I can't believe this is us, it reminds me of, I think it was the Atlanta mayor that said, we're better than this. And that's a sentiment that I think most of us would agree with, but it does remind me of a sports analogy of how many times have we heard a coach with a losing record say, oh, we're a lot better than our record. And what do we say? No, you are exactly what your record is. And frankly, some of what's happening out there that is so reprehensible, that's our record of the past week.
Yeah, I see when you said that sports analogy, I'm thinking the quarterback that throws too many interceptions. And at the end of the day, takes place, I shouldn't have thrown. Those are on me, all those picks. Okay, it's nice you're admitting it, but stop throwing interceptions. You were losing all these games. You threw 3 last week. You got 2 this week. Stop throwing interceptions. But that's really where we're at right now. And I'm telling you, drive when I saw Ross, Dress for Less. It's Dress for Less store.
The store.
And I saw, and I
saw.
For
a minute, I thought you were talking about Friends.
No, when I saw Ross, he says, we're on a break. No, when I saw Jim Ross, I said, oh my God, it's Pete Rose. When I see Ross boarded up, oh my goodness, I couldn't believe it.
A lot of Hollywood Boulevard was today.
Yeah,
in
Hollywood
anticipation.
Boulevard was. Yeah, it was, and now in Van Nuys, which is a suburb right outside here in LA, I was at least heartened to see that the police that were in Van Nuys are stepping up and standing in front of local businesses, and we're stopping local businesses from being looted. All right. Awesome. That is, that seemed like, to see that bit of a beacon that we can actually do things and hopefully stop the backsliding, because that's kind of where we're at right now. I feel like the backsliding continues, and at some point we got to hit rock bottom and start to dig out from it.
That's a good way to put it. It will be rock bottom. Some of what we're seeing is rock bottom. Van Nuys not far, as you know, from our studios, so I couldn't take surface streets through Van Nuys to get here for the show tonight. Oof. I will say that USC, located in downtown LA, I can actually applaud them for the new athletic director taking the swift action today, saying, quote, racism and hate speech will not be tolerated. So they've revoked the season tickets of one of their Trojan Athletic Fund members because of, quote, abhorrent and blatantly racist tweets over the weekend. Attorney Marla Brown, a USC alum, on a since deleted Twitter account, had suggested over the weekend that protesters and looters should be shot, etc. USC takes action.
The Jason Smith Show with Mike Harmon, Steve DeSager in for Mike tonight. AutoZone has more ways for you to get what you need when you need it. With their free same-day pickup, you can place your order online, grab what you need today at more than 5,700 AutoZone locations, in-store or curbside. If you have a job that can wait until tomorrow, AutoZone offers free next-day delivery on orders over $35. Just order by 10 p.m. At AutoZone, free next-day delivery is available on over 100,000 parts. Visit AutoZone.com today to start your job fast. Get in the zone, AutoZone. Now, somehow this winds up getting to the Knicks, because this story that has just broken in the course of the past hour is just absolutely insane. And
amazing.
Honestly, I wonder if this is going to be the final straw, and because I don't know that James Dolan can own the Knicks after this story gets out. Pablo Torre of ESPN put this out. He got a copy of the email that Knicks owner Jim Dolan sent to MSG employees defending the organization's decision to stay silent after the death of George Floyd, after the killing of him by a Minneapolis police officer. Now, only two NBA teams, I believe, have not made a statement and talked about it yet, the Knicks and the Spurs. And I think the Spurs today, Greg Popovich gave a big interview on it. So,
and has spoken many, many
yes,
times.
And he's a guy, right. But still, okay, you want a statement because, hey, look, this is the NBA. You see players, LeBron, everybody is out. What do we want to know? And, how can we stand for this? And here's the message. This is Pablo Torre of ESPN putting this out from Jim Dolan. I'm going to read to you the bottom. It's 3-paragraph statement. The beginning talks about how there's a turbulent time in our country. Therefore, I want you to understand our internal position. Quote, as companies in the business of sports and entertainment, however, we are not any more qualified than anyone else to offer our opinion on social matters. What's important is how we operate. Our companies are committed to upholding our values, which include creating a respectful workplace for all, and that will never change. What we say to each other matters, how we treat each other matters, and that's what will get us through this difficult time. I'll take you back to the beginning of that paragraph when I said, as companies in the business of sports and entertainment, we are not any more qualified than anyone else to offer our opinion on social matters. Okay. Wow. I get that. I get you say, listen, what are we? But you still need to show your players and the NBA and the world that what happened to George Floyd wasn't right. I mean, listen, what does Charles Barkley say when the whole thing came up with Donald Sterling? He said, this is a black league. You can't talk like that and still run away. We're a black league. How can James Dolan say, hey, we're not going to offer our opinion on this? You can't say the killing of George Floyd was wrong. You can't put that out in a statement. I mean, I don't know if he's worried that people will come and loot and riot Madison Square Garden, but I don't know, man. I don't know if you can own the Knicks after this. This is such a volatile time right now, and you can't come out with a statement. The Knicks players are upset. I can believe the entire NBA is upset, and I wonder if this is Adam Silver at some point has to get involved and go, hey, Jim, what the hell, man? I mean, seriously, this is what you're saying? You don't feel qualified to make a statement that the killing of somebody is wrong. That's where, of all the things James Dolan's done, Steve, this may be that thing that's, okay, really, I don't know. Can he still own an NBA team?
This might be the thing that people have been looking for, any excuse to bring him down, because you and I both know for many years there are basketball reasons people have been wanting to bring him down. It does remind me a bit of the Donald Sterling thing, because for many years, people in L.A. knew what Sterling was and the lawsuits with how he ran his apartment buildings and so forth. And finally, they got something on tape to bring him down. Now, this isn't quite the same. I will agree with half a sentence of what he said, and that is it's important how we operate. But for you to actually say, we're no more qualified than anyone else to offer our opinion, really? So in other words, you're telling every other major league team who has spoken out in the last week that they're wrong. I mean, the Chicago Bears just tonight said, we must do more than wring our hands and hope it doesn't happen again. Our coach spent the 2 hours of team meeting today listening to and healing together with our players. A long Bears, exactly opposite type of statement from that franchise. So he's saying no to every other owner in every other sport.
And the fact that the state we're not qualified than anyone else to offer our opinion on social matters.
Cop out.
So that what do they what do we always say about radio, right? If you don't have an opinion, you're not going to have a career, right? You got to have an opinion on things, right or wrong. You have an opinion, and to say you're not even moved to have a public opinion on the killing of a guy that everybody got to see video and said, oh my God, that's wrong. Oh my God, that is wrong. Now, what happened after, and it's spiraling out of control, and the counterpoint we're getting as a result, that's a different story. That's a different story. But this, what we're, you can't say that. I mean, I don't know that. Number one, I don't know who's going to want to play for the Knicks after this. There sure as hell ain't getting any free agents who are going to want to come play for there. Because you're going to look at James Dolan and go, boy, the guy couldn't even have the back of a guy that got killed. Wow. You know what? Not going there. Because look, Charles. Like I go back, Charles Barkley was right. We're a black league. He says these are the players. You can't own a team if this is your attitude. And we're trying to get to the fact where black men aren't in a position where they think I can be killed by a police officer or somebody just because I'm walking down the street or something is happening that gets out of control. And you can't say, okay, I understand what's going on and that was wrong. Oh, I look, there's a lot that goes on that I can say, all right, I don't know about this, but eventually things are going to move on. But this James Dolan thing, I don't know. I don't know how the league gets by without doing something. And it may be in that situation of it's not quite here's on tape Donald Sterling saying, but here's a memo, and here's exactly the words that are written out there, and it's what else can you say at this? I don't know.
Well, we can say it's wrong. We can say it's a bit tone deaf, and we can say he's not fully aware of the significance or the context of what is going on, and in that sense, he's a bad boss. And the fact that he's telling himself essentially to shut up and dribble, a basketball team owner, is the ultimate irony.